And it's not, this device is something different, but it's like the layer, something about the layers. They're they're parallel. There's something about the pattern itself of these lines that like traps and bounces the energy back and forth, you know. Um,
What happens to the energy that's being harnessed by these devices?
it doesn't harness it, it broadcasts it.
Okay.
And so it's as if one has their choice. It amplifies the ability to choose. It's a it's a uh, it gives one the ability to perceive multiple dimensions,
Okay.
which is a natural ability. It's a natural ability. It just amplifies it. And in
Okay.
this day and age, that ability is being controlled. It's there's a layer of there's a frequency that's broadcast that prevents us from that very natural realization. It's a it's a limiting frequency. And so there are those of us who combat that in various ways. And that's one role that I'm seeing.
What else are you seeing?
I'm getting a lot of impressions of metal from the very beginning, just metal. So it's like at first I'm holding like a big metal. It's like I can feel the grooves of the edges, like the edges of a quarter are grooved, and so I can like feel this grooves of this metal. And it's like that scene. I'm not sure if it's the same scene or flashing to a different scene where it's like I'm in like the in between place. I was like in place I'm familiar with, known as Holy Eagle Peak, where the Buddha gave a sermon. And I'm like seeing the Buddha from the inside. And then I'm remembering when I was there watching the Buddha as a disciple. And then I'm simultaneously seeing, or I'm switching then right afterwards to a Buddha proclaiming that one of his disciples is destined to receive enlightenment. And so I'm having the realization, I'm seeing these three things from the point of view of each of these men.
Hmm.
And it's like the Buddha is very calm and doesn't have an emotional reaction exactly. It's just there, present. He's very present. And the disciple that's seeing it for the first time is seeing it for the first time, and it's very a visceral experience. And then the person who's being proclaimed a future Buddha is living in the future. He's has an excitement, and so there's almost like a different, it's like a past, present, future, or remembering and something about knowing the inevitability of attaining this other perspective. And so I was able to feel all those things and feel that excitement of knowing that I'll be enlightened, and the inevitability that it doesn't matter anyway, that it's already a state that we're all privileged to experience anytime. And so it was an interesting, very fast progression of those three mental states, all enlightened states, but it almost like removed in time. And then I'm seeing the portal and going through the portal, and I'm seeing a device. The scenes that I keep seeing, like they all have technology and metal and combined. And it's like I'm seeing this, it's like a gyroscope There's maybe three or more concentric circles, and they're
Okay.
moving within, and um, it's something that literally exists, and it's here, and it's now, but it's not running. This what I'm seeing is from the past. It's and it sounds stupid, but it's what they keep looking for under Oak Island. That's where this device exists. It's been there for God, I don't know the time frame, but when I'm seeing it, it's thousands, 50,000 years. It's a long time, and it's when this device is still running, at its peak performance or whatever. I'm there, and I'm a cat being, like, I can see my claw, like I can feel my claws, and the way that a claw would catch silk fabric, like the way my cat scratches. I
Hmm.
feel the scratching on something, maybe even like fabric or
What else do you see besides the gyroscope?
it's underground. Even then it was underground, but there was more at that point. There was more terrestrial and subterranean interconnectedness. So it was the density wasn't as thick. It's like there wasn't as much crust, or there was less. It was easier to move between realms. There was
Okay.
less of the frequency was raised, and so this device is part of that. The other thing, oh yeah, seeing. The other thing that I'm seeing is it's a it's in Orion's belt, and I've seen it before, and I work with this technology. I'm I'm a steward of this. How do we put it? I keep hearing the word jet, DJET. It's like the jet tower technology.
Okay.
There's not. Not a kind frequency that's being emitted. It's like the frequency is being hijacked, and we're hijacking it back. And so I work with a team that fixes it. And what I'm seeing is there's something about this device that I'm working with in the past that is related to this device that I work with now.
What's the connection?
It's like it amplifies it, or it broadcasts the frequency, harmonizes the frequency. Which there wasn't this device. This device didn't exist in the past. This isn't the same device, but it's other technologies, the jet towers that were in Egypt, for example, and other places, and that are still being used, I hear. It's just they're not, conspiracy type of. Um, there are people that know about these things, but there's not, um, you know, it's not the same type of electricity or frequency that one would use.
And what is your connection to these things?
It's similar to what I do in the future, but I can't quite figure it out. It's like there's something about metal, and there's something about layers. And it's like I'm seeing it's just like these lenticular prints. It's like there's layers that go to where when you, and it's not, this device is something different, but it's like something about the layers. They're, they're parallel. There's something about the pattern itself of these lines that like traps and bounces the energy back and forth. you know, um,
What happens to the energy that's being harnessed by these devices?
it doesn't harness it. It broadcasts it.
Okay.
And so it's as if one has their choice. It amplifies the ability to choose. It's a it's a uh, it gives one the ability to perceive multiple dimensions,
Okay.
which is a natural ability. It's a natural ability. It just amplifies it. And in
Okay.
this day and age, that ability is being controlled. It's there's a layer of there's a frequency that's broadcast that prevents us from that very natural realization. It's a it's a limiting frequency. And so there are those of us who combat that in various ways. And that's one role that I'm seeing.
What else are you seeing?
Something about the flower of life, like it's almost like you're not going to understand it, so we're not going to explain it to you. But it's something like the same pattern, just one lifetime where I work setting up. It's like you refract space time through panels of light, and so I'm setting up panels of light at 90-degree angles in order to view different realities. And so there's some connection with what I do with technology for the Galactic Federation in the future, whereas we're viewing different potential realities that occurred with Lyra. It's something similar to that. Even my form is the same, although I feel like I'm more masculine. I think I'm a male in this past life. But it's like there's something similar that I'm doing, but the shapes are different, if that makes sense. It's like this is all round, whereas in the future, I'm used to it being 90-degree angles.
So is that what you're seeing right now? Are you setting up those panels of light?
That's something I do in the future, even in the
Okay.
future in this context. But that I'm seeing that that relates to this, like my power, my proclivities, the proclivities of somebody who's from Lyra, that's from Lyran descent, have to do with working with this type of. We can just see it in different colors. It's like we can just see the patterns. And so that's what I'm noticing is a similarity of like seeing the patterns with this sphere and something similar to the patterns that I'm doing with the light, the panels of light, and something similar to the flower of life. It's there's something there's a pattern that exists beneath all of these three things, and it has something to do with reflecting. It's like the back and forth reflection.
What are you seeing and what are you seeing around you right now?
I'm like in a lab, or it's like I'm underground and I see the device somewhat in front of me. It's pretty large. I'm not the only one down there. There's others. I don't know what I'm doing.
How many others are there?
Maybe four. There's five of us total because I see that we're forming a pentacle. We just have. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's important or if that's just where we.
Okay. What are you wearing?
It's a jumpsuit. It's a
What
uniform. It's like it's I think it's a Federation uniform, even back
what
then.
color is it?
Blue. It's like a
You said
name.
there's four other people, there's five of you total, and you form.
Yeah, I think they're all the same. I think they're the same as me. We have workstations, and I can see our workstations are just sort of spaced out. Like, say, I don't know if that's just because I don't know that the geometry is important necessarily, but it's just there's five of us, and we're kind of spread out in a pentacle pattern.
Well, it sounds like that could be important.
Yeah, it might be. It's just I can't. I don't know what we're doing yet. It's like we've
Have you
got.
guys been working on this project for a long time? Do you know?
It's it's been a little while. I've done this job for. Seems to be my job, my career. I've done this for. It's what I studied to do. It's what I studied to do.
How does it make you feel emotionally?
Connected. I'm not feeling strong emotions,
Okay.
but there's a connection. It's like it's very consistent. It's extremely consistent. It's interesting.
What do you do at your workstation?
What I see, it reminds me very much of like what a DJ would do or what like it feels like what do you call it? A telephone operator. Like that's not what I'm actually doing, but the plugs, the physical components of
Hmm.
my job, the manual components that I'm seeing, it's like I'm plugging in wires, which
Do you know
allows
what do you know what the
connection.
purpose of it is?
It's connection, it's frequency work.
Do the other people do the same things at their workstations as well, or does everybody do something different?
It seems to be the same because it seems to be the same workstation. It's like I hear like we're arms of the same, we're in on the same team. We're doing the same thing.
Okay. And you said you feel like you're a man. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think I'm a male. I'm a feline. I'm from Lyra.
And what about the other people that are there with you?
They're the same. They have the same
They're the same. Okay.
physicality. There's something about it that makes us good at this. Is the way we can see or hear in this case. That's weird. Here. It's what we can feel. It's how we can sense vibrations that makes us particularly good at this.
Hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does, except, the part that is interesting is because in the other lifetime where I'm half Lyran, half Cassiopean, it's my eyesight that makes me good at this job, the same job. And my partner does the other part of that job. This is me doing this part of the job, and so that's interesting to me. I haven't experienced it from this side. It's more visceral as opposed to visual.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
How long have you worked in this place?
I was here 4 years. 4 years.
Is this just ongoing work that you guys are doing, or are you working towards some type of project?
No.
Is there a significant event that's about to happen or that has just happened here?
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like there's gonna be a flood or something. Like it's like maybe there was a project, but we don't really have that full. we don't get to see it.
Okay.
Like I keep seeing water or something to where it's like everything seems flooded. I was gonna say it's like there's something that's about to happen. Because when we first came in, I kept seeing water, like kept seeing the place. It's like I'm seeing it the way it is today, which is just rusted, and it's not what it's not what it was. It's like today, it's just a energy drain. It does the opposite. Isn't it? I see it from the other perspective, where it's just like the signals that are coming that the earth just gets bombarded with constantly. It's like it does the opposite of it's what it was doing then. It's just like it just harmonizes everything.
So what you're working on harmonizes everything.
Well, yeah, at that time, that's what it's that's what it that's what it does. It allows the ability for individuals to perceive different collective realities. You can go into different dimensions. It just
Okay.
allows the ability to perceive beyond what now we would call the veil. There wasn't a veil. The veil is an unnatural. Um, uh, I mean, it's all natural, but
Yeah.
it's a mechanical sequestering device as opposed to what used to be uh, routinely available.
So you said that what you're working on gives people the ability to choose or perceive different dimensions. Is this something that you guys are sending out on a consistent basis or an intermittent basis? Does someone have to seek you out? How does that
No,
work?
it's just mechanical. It just happens. I mean,
It
there's
just happens.
already the ability to perceive multiple dimensions,
Hmm.
but it's like this takes the energy and it amplifies that ability to just give you that
Beautiful.
much more ease in seeing your personal role in manifestation. It removes that time, that extra dimension. It removes the sequesteredness, and it just expands one's own natural predicate abilities to do these things, which Earth Gaians have. That is it's a birthright. It's a natural ability that this that this placement in the galaxy should allow, and it's only being mechanically separated from this perception at this juncture. That doesn't stop people from the perception, it just makes it not the first reaction, or not it's counterintuitive.
Hmm.
And the devices that exist and will exist once again, they'll disrupt this artificial filter.
What do you do outside of this job?
Nothing.
Do you live here?
Yeah, yeah, we stay down. For the most part, it's not that difficult to move back and forth, but like we spend so much of our time doing that. And it's like, I don't even know exactly what we're doing. We're just like plugging things in and unplugging them. It's like, sounds silly, but it's like listening to music.
Hmm.
We're, we're listening and we're feeling the vibrations, and then when we feel them shift up too high or too low, we just calibrate them.
Mm, that's beautiful.
So it's we just well, it's very mechanical. It doesn't feel seeing it from the outside, it's beautiful. Doing it, it's
Hmm.
just like, you know, saying the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever.
Right.
Doing it is just like saying a mantra over and over.
Yeah.
And it's more like when I was like that Buddha, it's more like that consistent energy.
Hmm.
So you have to be present. You have to be present and out of your own way to do it. It's not, you have to listen and be with it. That's all you can do.
Do you recognize the importance of the role that you're playing here?
I have a conscious understanding of the value that this process creates, but it's not relegated to just this one device. It's not relegated to just these five people,
Hmm.
these five beings. It takes a whole team. It takes such a huge team that there is no ego. You can't, there's what it wouldn't be appropriate to be like, oh, this is so important because everyone is part of it. It's a, I mean, it's just a job in some sense.
Yeah, that
It,
makes
it,
sense.
my dad, Julie's dad, my dad was a boiler plant operator, and I see a similarity to this.
Mm,
He had to be present to make sure nothing exploded, and there's these
hmm.
dials and things, and he didn't, you know, there wasn't a huge.
Well, even if it's unnecessary to acknowledge the importance of that job, I mean, it does seem like it's a big responsibility.
It's more important now.
Mm,
That's more important now. That's where the that's where the remembering is wants to come in.
hmm.
Is remember that consistency. Remember that it's mechanical. That you can hear. That when you wake up, that you can hear and you can adjust. When you wake up, just hear it and adjust. Don't react. Adjust. Like that's the main direction that we're hearing is that when you wake up in the morning, remember this frequency, remember this attunement, and go through that same process, the same bringing it down or bringing it up, depending on what's needed, and doing that in the morning, throughout the day. And it's just, we're acknowledging that's the same. It's the same as the frequency that's being broadcast from Orion's belt that we're hijacking and that we're fixing and we're turning into the consistent energy. And we'll call it Nam-myoho Renge Kyo because that's what Julia chants. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. That's the energy. That's the understanding that is being amplified. It's the same frequency.
Okay, that makes sense. How long will you stay here and do this job?
It's just the 4 year. I've been doing it for 4 years, and it's about to. There's a catastrophe that happens, and
Mm.
I don't think we die. I think we just beam out of there. But it's not. It's a. Oh, I see. It's like there. It's like, oh, it's like a failure. Something to do with, I see.
Besides you and the other four beings, Is there anyone else that comes or goes, or is it just you and these four others?
Well, it's like now I'm seeing after the catastrophe, and it's like we're on a
Okay.
spaceship, and it's like we're talking about we
Okay.
abandoned the project, and so it's like there was some element of failure, or it didn't work out, and it doesn't seem to be like our fault.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was like just a literal earthquake or something, it's like whatever they did in Atlantis, like whatever they did with their energy weapons, like that kind of fell back on us, right?
Mm,
Like,
okay.
oh, okay, you can't be trusted with this kind of stuff. Well, no, it's not that we can't be trusted, it's that there's people that are out there exploiting that, like you can't be you can't exploit things. So it's like the humans gave it a bad rap, right? It's like the nuclear bombs. Like humans give it a bad rap. There's nuclear this is the energy of life itself, and humans are going to use it to murder. And so it's we abandon this place. And it's
Okay.
not
How do you feel about abandoning the mission?
I don't I don't know if I had feelings strongly about it then.
Okay. And you're on this spaceship. Are you on the ship with the other is everyone there, the team of five?
I think so. I think so. I'm seeing other races too, though. It's not just us, it's like we are the ones that were able to carry out that particular job because we were the right density and we had the right ability to hear and feel the Earth's resonance versus just being in the cloud, just being in the higher frequencies. And so it's like something about the way that we could hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then up here, it's like I'm seeing birds and there's other races of beings besides just felines. This is the galactic the Galactic Federation ship where it's a fairly large vessel.
And what will you do next? What will you do now that that mission is over?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
It's like
let's
I
leave.
don't it's like I'm seeing different options. It's like, oh well, I'm gonna watch the sunset. It seems like I retire or something. I don't feel old, but it's almost like I have a leave or I'm back home or I'm on vacation or it's like, oh, you get time off and I don't know what to do because I've just been
Mm,
doing the same thing. It's like I'm grieving the loss of my role. Yeah, it's like I knew. It's like before, like you said, it was an important job, and I didn't let it go to my head or whatever. But like now that I don't have that role, it just is, it's difficult for me to understand how to create that same type of value.
mm,
When I was doing it, it was like, well, everyone does it. Everyone does it. And now that I'm not doing it, it's like I don't know. I'm lost on
mhm.
how to justify, like a justifying my time.
That makes sense, especially if you had spent a good number of years doing that one thing.
Yeah, and it's like I'm just alone. It's like the
Hmm.
4 years with those, and we weren't really working together. It's not like we chatted or, we knew each other. We were best friends in a sense, but, like any coworker situation, you move on. And,
Hmm.
you know,
Why don't we leave this scene that you've been watching and move to an important day? I want you to leave the scene and let's move forward to an important day, a day that you consider to be important when something is happening. And we've now moved forward to an important day and what's happening.
Is it okay if I go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
I'll be right
I'll
back.
be right here. Perfect.
So it's like the thought occurred to me that if I'm feeling so lonely and so cut off and so, if I'm feeling so isolated, it occurs to me that maybe my teammates are as well.
That would make sense.
And so I'm seeing like I reach out. It's like I feel like it's my impetus to reach out, like that I make the initial connection, but that we were all sort of thinking about it or that we'd all considered coming back together for something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see us in a similar formation, but we're closer together. We're like, in a pinnacle, but we're chatting instead of being isolated. And so we're talking about our emotions, just our hopes and dreams and what we felt. And it's all very, I don't know how to put it. It's very rich, but it's also it's not emotional. No one is crying or
Mm-hmm.
there's just a presence. It feels very similar to what we were doing as we were plugging the devices, doing our job.
Sure.
And I'm just seeing that same current, that same energy with relationships, as opposed to just the frequency is present as we connect to each other, and it's amplified through every living being. And so that's why I was able to say we're all doing it when I was there with the machine, but now that I'm here with my colleagues, I can feel it happening separate from the mechanics, separate from the machinery or technology.
You can feel the beautiful part,
Yeah, it's
not
just
the mechanical part.
the natural part, and there are mechanics to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mechanics. It's the mechanics of the universe. There's nothing that every other energy, every other, gravity, electricity, everything else follows this currency.
When you talk to the rest of your teammates, what are you talking about now?
Well, we're exploring the idea of what we've discovered personally. It's like bringing it from the mechanical into the spiritual. It's
Mm-hmm.
like bringing the knowledge that everyone where we come from already has a basic understanding of this stuff. It's not rocket science, It's like me talking to you, like you talking to me. We understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but we still suffer from lower energies. We still suffer from environmental context. We still feel cut off, even though there's not an impending sequestered energy keeping us from doing it. There's still contrast. There's still, it's just not as heightened as humans feel it in this density at this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a natural ebb and flow. There are still cycles. And we're discussing how to make it easier, the same way that Melissa and Julia are discussing it, the same way that it's an eternal discussion. How do we create value?
Mm-hmm.
How can the five of us, knowing what we know, having been through what we've been through, how can our perspectives help to broaden the perspectives of others, especially others if they're struggling, others that are going through negative judgments against themselves or their jobs or their roles or their value.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're doing that for each other, and as we're doing it for each other, we're considering how we can do that for others.
And do you come to any conclusion on how you can do that without the machine or the mechanical piece?
It well, it's funny because like I still see the machines. It's just we're making them more personal. It's like we're
Okay.
still in this business. It's all, it's like I'm seeing almost like Julia's flashing to Shark Tank, like there's something to do with there's still a mechanism to it. It's like, and we still market, and it's weird because like everything I'm telling, we just make them smaller. It doesn't that it's like an easy solution. It's not hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
not difficult. You just make it in a smaller component. You break it down. Just break it down. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to broadcast 500 miles. Broadcast 2 centimeters. It doesn't have to encompass the entire planet like we did. Basically, it was a very large, it's like probably about a third of the globe or it's like very large space that this thing broadcast over.
Mm-hmm.
But like you don't have to do that. You can have a radio tower every mile. You can have an individual device. And we're seeing there's a session that Julia facilitated for Greg where he goes to a technician in the near future, and they're bringing this technology back. And they have a tower, and the tower, wherever the signal goes, you can see different dimensions from the signal just by them turning the dial. This
Mm.
isn't very far away in Earth's future. It's not different than what we did then or what we were. It's the same technology. It's just different skins.
So what do you do next?
It's like I see myself playing an instrument. It's like anything we want to. We just like it's like I see myself actually retiring. It's like actually traveling. It's like it sounds stupid. It's like we're in a traveling band. We don't play music. Like it's almost like we're entertainers.
So do you guys stay together then?
I don't know. It's like I see it sort of maybe you come and go. I don't know. It's like maybe there's even like it's like kind of like the Grateful Dead or something, like where it's like yeah, there's the old guys and now there's the new guys, and it's just a thing that we just keep on in perpetuity. It's like the Blue Man Group or something. Like who knows who they are? We just sing and we it's like I see the ceremony in the air again. I see that place where the Buddha is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we come back. It's like we decide, that we'll come back at different times. And it's like that's where some of these agreements are sort of made. It would seem it's like certain incarnations where we want to see certain things.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like we're here now to see the huge change. This is a time of huge change, we're told. And that's what we're here to see.
What are you seeing now? Where are you at?
It's like I'm in the future. And I think I'm in my female cat form. I seem somewhat older.
Okay. What do you see around you?
Studio, like an artist studio, or an exhibit. It's a museum space that I'm dressing.
Do you own this space or do you work in this space?
Now I've been asked as an artist to show. This is my first. I see. This is my first exhibit, and I've been asked to show my inception piece.
Well, that sounds exciting. How are you feeling?
I don't know how to present it. I don't know whether to maximize it or minimize it. I'm not sure how to frame this object that I've created. What I've done is I've taken the technology that we use to refract space-time, and instead of just bringing back the past, besides just bringing out potentials from the past, I've created a whole new system. I've created a planetary system, a solar system, and a marble,
Hmm.
including all of the living beings, all the beings that we would have in our solar system, let's imagine, in soul. I've created that in an art piece. It looks like a marble. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, or the whatever MIB. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole galaxy in this marble. And it looks almost, it's very similar. It's like there's a whole solar system, a whole planetary system in this one marble.
That sounds amazing.
It's the crux of this whole story. It's like that's the end part of the whole story, or at least as far as we've gotten. This is the
Mm.
end. This creation. This is where that starts. It's the beginning of taking responsibility, of becoming a mother, of understanding how creation is what God is.
What's going to happen next?
I'm going to make an even bigger piece.
Mm.
It's like I use what I find from the physics of that to make an actual galaxy, to make an actual realm, to make the entire piece. I'm not alone. There's a team with me as well. And many of them are likely the same brothers and sisters that I knew. But it's
How large is the team that you work with?
I only know two right now, but it's like we're actively recruiting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There are others that work bringing this to fruition. But there's one specific human that Julia works with. And it's I say my name's on this project, but hers is too. We share it, it's a collaboration. I might be the head or something, or like I've done it before or something to where like I'm slightly more, but we're equally talented. They have other talents that I don't have, and so it's this collaboration and birthing.
And this team and you are working on building a new galaxy?
Yeah, it's to anybody else it might be just called an art piece. It's just like we're making a really pretty marble, and our marble's being displayed in a very prestigious art museum. But there's the underlying understanding that there's more to it than its beauty. There's more to it than the structure that it's forming. This is literally another where we just birthed a freaking world. It's like an ant farm, if you will,
Mm, okay.
but it's we're the macrocosm. This is the microcosm. We just created it. We're the gods. We're the deities. We could throw it away. We could do what we wanted with. We can't control the free will of
Mm-hmm.
those people on those planets, though. The same way that our whoever our creator is doesn't control us. It's a strange realization that there is a higher power, that there are different things, but there is a macrocosm and a microcosm. It's an interesting dynamic. There's only so much we have responsibility for ourselves is ultimately the realization, I think. It's a certain maturity or a certain realization to where we're our own mother, we're our own caregivers. We make our own decisions, just like they would. We can't tell our art piece how to evolve. That's the we don't decide how this art piece evolves. It does it itself. The same way if you turn a lava lamp on, I'm not making that lava flow. There's a mechanism that does it.
So if you created this, when you created this marble, this art piece with the,
It's a formula.
so the world that exists inside that marble, who do they look to as their higher power? Do they look to their higher power as you because you're the creator?
We wouldn't know.
Mm,
We don't know. I mean, intuitively, there might be ways to uh, project. All we
hmm.
could do is project the same way that all we can do is project what our higher powers might be thinking.
Yeah.
There's no, like it's not that they don't exist or that they don't care or that they aren't related. It's just it's a different the same way I don't know what an ant is thinking unless I intentionally go into that ant's energy, concentrate, reflect the same mechanisms that we're using today to go to other places. Anybody can do that at any time, anywhere. The ant, the planet, the person, anybody can do that. It's there just has to be a question asked to bring one to the perspective. That's all. And that in the same way that I can connect with a higher power by willing it, one might imagine that we would have the same types of sense as we're connecting with our creation. You have the love and the responsibility and the care, and that you have that just like a mother has to their baby. And this
Mm.
every bit as much love as for that object, for that, as there is for a mother and their child. It's the same love. It springs from the love. It's the same formula, call it E equals MC squared or whatever you reduce it down to, where there's things that create.
What are you seeing now?
That's the understanding that even though Julia never wanted kids, that the period is representing a change, a shift in this understanding somehow. It's like there's a similar judgment that she's experiencing as that lion experienced when his job wasn't there anymore, like a confusion or an emptiness. It's like a similar feeling of emptiness and not knowing what her role is.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Julia feels like she's ready for a change.
She should be. She should be.
What kind of change does she need right now? What would serve her best to change right now?
The one thing that we're emphasizing especially is to wake up in the morning and hear that vibration, to consciously shift her vibration as soon as she wakes up. And she's done it before with different mechanisms, reminders or whatever. We're giving her a tool. We're showing her that she's has this ability to hear the vibration, and she knows it's off. She wakes up, she knows it's off, and then she can choose to lean into that and get real pissy, which is what she tends to do, especially every couple months with the external limitations, when the ambient jag is turned up, when the distortion is at its highest level. She chooses to lean into that and freak out, whereas she can hear, oh, hey, it's freak out time, let's turn that down. Just like the way one adjusts the volume on a television. It's exactly the same, and it's just as easy once you recognize that you can do that, that there's no benefit to amplifying the negative signal. And that's, I think, I don't know that it's like she consciously knows that, but I don't think she subconsciously thinks that she should just amplify every signal. And that's not it doesn't create the same value.
I think it'll be helpful for her to hear that. I think sometimes we can get lost and forget to tune into the signals that we need to tune into.
Yeah, it's like she can feel it. She can feel it.
She's been struggling a couple of months around her cycle time. And Julia feels like her mental health is kind of compromised before her period begins. And I know you said that this is representative of a change that's happening in her life, but is there a way that she can manage these cycles better?
Yes, and part of it really is just what she's looking up as growing up and doing practical things. And we're encouraging her to go see a doctor. We're encouraging her to do those things. She doesn't have to buy into Western medicine to go get tests run. It's just using the tools of the dimension you're in. And so we want to just encourage her that she doesn't have to reject anything. She thinks she doesn't, but she does. And so we're just encouraging her to keep letting go of those negative judgments of Western medicine. They work with what they have, and it's not horrible. It's just a different system. You can use multiple systems. That's what she's a champion of. That's where she shines. So we're encouraging her to take her own advice and use the tools that are there instead of, pretending that they're oppressive or
Use.
abusive or whatever. I mean, like, it's not like they can't be, but that's not what she hasn't had that happen. She's not been oppressed by Western medicine. Not. She doesn't need to be. That doesn't need to be something that she manifests.
Okay.
She can just use the tools, take some tests, listen or don't listen, take medicine or don't. It's there's no there's nothing that's off the table as far as, she can adapt. That's what we're encouraging her to keep learning, is how to adapt, how to see those multiple dimensions, not just the one, and not just the higher, just to see the options in the dimension she's in without so much escapism.
Hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to transcend one reality, but that's not the same thing as um, needing to get out. We feel trapped here because it's the nature of this dimension, but the goal is to transcend that polarized desire that I have to get out. There's a different way.
So Julia's been struggling off and on with feelings of depression. Is there any insight or help or advice that you can give us surrounding that?
It's the little things. It's always going to be the little things. And it comes back to the same advice that we've given her a million times. And it has to do with just doing one thing. And
Mm.
that's what it's not that she's forgotten, it's that she just kind of gave up, or wants to reject she doesn't even want to do the one thing. And so we're just telling her, that, I mean, you got to do something. I mean, whether you schedule sitting on the couch or whether it's something that you give yourself a gold star for, just do one thing, whatever that thing is. And she knows her options: brush her teeth, take a shower, do something for her business, just like any of the things that get somebody in a positive mindset. Chant.
Hmm.
It always comes back to that because it's just the easiest way to explain it, because she understands it, to chant, because it creates that vibration. She's been neglecting her duties when it comes to calibrating the tower. She's been neglecting doing some of these things, and so we're just encouraging her to kind of get back on the horse. Don't It's common for her to make a progress and then come back, and make progress and then come back, and make progress and then come back. That's fine.
Hmm.
We want to show her that that is not failure. That is normal, especially here on Earth. That is expected. Just keep doing it. Don't give up. Maybe don't give up so much. The the more she realizes that's part of the cycle, the less she beats herself up for being in that part of the cycle.
Mm. Mm.
And yeah,
That.
that part of the cycle is going to last 5 years. It's lasted. We don't want her and her temporal mind doesn't want it to last that long, but that's just how cycles work. And so
Okay.
she's learning to see some of these things and recognize them and feel them and do it anyway. It's like if you're playing a video game, you expect level 20 to be more difficult than level 1.
Mm. Hmm.
Well, she's in the end of the game, it's like it's going to be more difficult. There's going to be different metrics that it's often things are a capacity test, not a win fail. If you blow the balloon up and you want to see, well, how big can I get the balloon? And then it bursts, you didn't fail. You're saying, how big did you get that balloon? It's a capacity test. How far can we push her before she loses her mind? These are different there are different ways to look at every situation. And so we're encouraging her to keep doing that instead of landing in the, instead of falling in love with her insecurities.
Is that something she holds on to, her insecurities?
It's something that she has been, and it's like just been the, it's not her typical, it's not generally her personality. It's like it's something that she picks up from her partner. It's like a kindness to him that's not working out for her. And he doesn't, it's not kind to him. That's the thing that she's
Mm,
subconscious. She doesn't realize. I mean, she realizes it, but she doesn't know how to. It's like there's a, we're showing her like a cord. It's not like a, it's not a positive attachment.
hmm.
It's like she's, their relationship is excellent. It doesn't need this cord. Because it's so excellent, it doesn't need, she doesn't need to make herself small. She doesn't, she doesn't need to judge herself. Uh, she doesn't need to judge herself as less than, and she doesn't need to reflect Greg's tendency to think less of himself than he needs to. Like that, there's a, it's like a, it's like I'm seeing a cord, but it's like a, it's like if you have two planes and then you separate the planes and there's like a sticky layer in between.
Hmm.
It's just like that just needs to come apart.
That makes sense. One of the things that Julia and I discussed, and these things kind of just all go together, is her self-worth. What does she need to know about her self-worth and how she can improve that? Or is that something that she should even focus on right now?
Well, it's almost like the same. It's like when we were talking about the current, the currency, the current, there's no comparison. There isn't a, what she needs to see about her self worth. It's like there's no, let me put it, her computer's plugged in, right? There's no part of that cord that's unimportant, you know? Every part of that cord is ensuring that the computer gets power. If there was an inch of the cord just gone, that would be, it wouldn't work. And so
Hmm.
every bit of it is important as every other bit. And it's like she knows that logically, but there's just something that she's not feeling about it. She doesn't feel like she's part of that cord. She doesn't understand her inherent value. There's no comparison.
How can she
No.
connect to that? How can she connect to her value?
It's a feeling. It's a vibration. It's the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. It's the essence of Om. It's
So
any
is
every
she
mantra.
just not ready to feel that then? Is that why she's not doing it?
She's felt it. She's lived in that energy for
Hmm.
most of her life. Even during depression, even during depressed times. It's recently that she's explored this So it's an interesting, part of the dynamic, I think, is this just so she can relate to other people, especially Greg. It's like she wants to relate to people that have low self-esteem or that don't feel like they've ever been listened to or that don't have a voice. She wants to relate to those people, but that's not her real self. She doesn't really. It's like an actor. It's like something she forgot she doesn't have to do.
Mm.
It's like she tried it on and she forgot she can just take it off.
So would she serve the situation better just being her authentic self and showing up as an example, maybe,
Yeah.
versus trying to be relatable?
Yeah, we're showing her it's like a separation, and it's like I don't know if it's literally copper. It's a metal. It's a color and it's a metal, and it's on the outside of the aura, and it's a positive thing. Like we tend to think of things all clouding the aura as bad, but like in this case, it's like she needs extra metal. And so we're showing her this copper. It's specifically copper. And it's like a separation from Greg's energy. And we're just reminding her of some of the exercises that she's done in the past and that she's guided other people through. Where it's just taking a minute to disconnect all the cords. And it's been a while since she's done this. And so it's overdue. She just needs to disconnect all the cords.
Okay.
And we're showing her the easiest way to do this. She's just putting a copper layer around her aura. It's almost just like I don't know how to put it. It's like turn it on. You don't have to keep it there. You can just turn it back off, but it just cuts the cords. It's like they can't attach with that element.
Like turning on and off your open and closed sign.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like cutting all of them at once as opposed to having to go through and identify them all or whatever. It's very mechanical and just does the trick. And then just recognizing the benefit of that as opposed to thinking that these connections, they're not the same thing as being in the current. And so we're just showing her the difference between the artificial and the real.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I want to go back for a second. When we had talked about the depression, you had said that you've given Julia this advice many times, but she doesn't seem to follow the advice. Is there some type of block there or some type of way that Julia can reframe things? Her overall goal is just to bring more stability and balance to her moods in a consistent way. So how can she achieve that more consistent emotional state?
It's not so much that she doesn't take the advice, it's just she takes it until it works
Mm,
and then forgets to keep going, which in some cases is fine and in some ways is fine. It's like she's still better off now than she was, even if she's more depressed now. She's still better off. She still understands the process better now than she's ever understood in her life.
hmm
It's still just the matter of going through the motions and doing the work, and um, she has this resistance to anything that's cultish. And so she doesn't want to follow advice. She doesn't want to repeat anything that she doesn't find valuable. And even the thing that she finds valuable, if it's something that feels constrictive, she doesn't want to place limitation. It's a she's a rebel, and it's
hmm
what protects her from being just like everybody. It's just like anybody would fall into the patterns of Christianity or fall into the patterns of what their parents do or fall into the patterns of their culture. She doesn't have to worry about that because she is such a brat. And so the way her mentor says, she's not supposed to be compliant. She's not supposed to just listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to learn, and she's doing that. It's just that she has her cycles, she has her patterns. It all comes in the time that she wants it, and she's starting to want it not just for herself but for the stability of Greg. She doesn't want to stress him out. She recognizes he doesn't deserve the it's not his. And so for she's starting to take responsibility, or at least pay more attention to how she affects others.
Do any of those feelings that you just described to me have anything to do with, or is there any like energetic bleed over into Julia finding and keeping a normal job or employment? Her resistance to, doing things systematically or following along, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's always been her. At the same time, it's not like she's bad. She's she's intelligent, and she has a bit of stamina. She's not as frail as she thinks she is. She has
Mm,
more resilience than she gives herself credit for. And she does know that she can just willpower her way through anything, and a strange she has a strange entitlement, and she knows that she will be taken care of. And so she has a resistance to doing anything that feels inauthentic.
mhm,
And she wants to find the place that feels aligned.
mhm,
And as much as she thought that would be, going back to what she's done before, she thought that would be comfortable and familiar and easy. It was anything but comfortable. It was familiar, but it was familiar in the sense of somebody who's being triggered.
mm,
So it'd be like the same way that one might go back to an abusive partner or seek out an abusive partner when their parents are abusive. So we're encouraging her to not play small. She doesn't need to just she needs to feel like she doesn't have to settle, and that's where she feels stuck, or like she needs to do things for money, and she knows better. It's just a pervasive thought form right now. It's in the culture. It's being broadcast. It's part of less. It's part of what we're all. It's part of what this entire dimension is going through right now. It's not just her. So I mean, she's working with and against all of these forces. I mean, we think she's doing pretty well. It's just that stubbornness, or that she's making the decision right now to change. And it's nothing it's not as it is drastic. It's drastic in a mindset for her, a decision. And there's no way to define that, or it comes through her, what we've seen her do even just today, that she's the different steps she's taken just today. We applaud just the little things, the putting the post, sending the email today. She sent that email. That's not something she would have done a week or two ago. And so we're applauding her. Releasing the video. She released it. She did it. She says she's embarrassed about it, but she did it anyway. And the more she does it, the more authentic it becomes. It's not an act when you keep doing it. That's what
Mm.
she tells her clients these things, that you have to trust the process. You have to show up and do it. You can't just push it away. And that's what she's doing with adulthood or responsibility or the next level. She's pushing it away and pretending like it's, you know, like it's not her next step, and then it is.
Is there something that she needs to do before she's able to embrace it? Is she ready to embrace it?
Yeah, there's an element of money that we're seeing or showing. It's like she wants to, in the past, she never would have imagined going to the dentist. And it's something that, she doesn't have, it's not like she has immediate pain in her mouth, but she understands the idea that teeth need maintenance and that going to the dentist is a good thing. She's had a dental phobia for most of her life. She
Mm.
doesn't have this phobia any longer. There's part of her that wants to go to the dentist. There's a part of her that understands that right now she doesn't have enough money to really, to, that there needs to be another step involved. And probably that other step involves getting a job, just because that has to do with the consistent effort. It gets her out of the house. It is encouraging her to take the hygiene. That it's all those little things that
Mhm.
she eventually gets to on her own, but she needs encouragement, and the job
That
will
makes
do that, and
sense.
then the job will give her the money, and then the money can do and then that creates the value in the partnership that gets them out of this place, that gets them into a place with a landlord that cares,
Yeah.
that gets them into the income bracket that reflects the reality that they deserve, that they grew up, that their work, that they're building, as opposed to the scarcity mindset. And she's been resistant to do that. She thinks she's lazy.
Mm-hmm. Why does she think she's lazy?
It's just well, I mean, because it is a word, it is a word that reflects a certain lack of motivation. She's just differently motivated.
Differently motivated. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, that's what she's always said, or that's what she's always known, is that she doesn't care about a clean house, and she won't pretend that she does. But when it comes to the ease of making dinner, it is easier to work with a clean counter. And she
Mhm.
recognizes this for herself. And that's where we're encouraging her that the more often you show up, the easier things are in perpetuity. Her mentor says, slow and steady wins the race. And every week she's closer to understanding that. She's every week she's closer to resisting that less. Every week she says it more and more times that it really is slow and steady. And that's growing up. That's not thinking that you just escape your problems, that you just jump to a new reality. That's
Mhm.
not why we came into this reality. We came here to learn the slow and steady, learn the resilience.
Is there a way that she can motivate herself to do the physical things that she needs to get done, like doing the housework, for example, in this interim time before she starts working and gets that consistent routine back? Is there something that could motivate her to do that?
Let us think.
Do you think fixing the kitchen would motivate her to do that?
We don't know. What we've always said is that once she accepts this place for what it is, then that's when it transforms. And that doesn't seem to be coming about. Like, she doesn't see that happening. And so there's a certain element of it's not the environment. It's not the environment that's going to shift her. It's something that she has to shift. And it's something about it, and even the consistent effort. The way that Adam got his stuff fixed is just consistently putting in the effort to email the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a social anxiety that prevents her from doing that. It's an insecurity, a fear that prevents her from contacting authority figures. And
If she did do that, though, how would she feel? Would she feel empowered?
she doesn't know. She doesn't know if she can step aside from the emotion. She doesn't know if she can step aside from the victimization. It's difficult to ask the person who's been raped to then um, have the conversation with the rapist. And that's where it's like she's not quite there with she doesn't know how to deal with oppressive forces with negotiation. She only knows how to react with victimhood, with anger, with, can't you see what you're doing? It's something that she's just now learning. Anything that isn't just complete reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we don't know. I mean, either way, she'll be fine. Whatever, she'll be fine. But that's her fear. Her fear is that she'll lose her mind trying to explain her basic human rights to somebody that doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It's already proven they don't understand them by their lack of responsibility. And why. So yes, she would feel empowered in a certain way, but in another way it's almost like, well, why start here and now with this? Why not show up for yourself first and then spread that outward? And then that effortlessly turns into talking to the landlord. That turns into just mentioning it when you see him out there, instead of closing the door and acting like you're not home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the self-worth going out. And there are things with there's nuances and complexities with the kitchen that aren't hers, that are Greg's. It's his name on everything. He's the responsible one. There is a nuance to that. This is not her battle. She just has to live with it.
Mm.
So if it's there are nuances that go beyond just that. But that's what eases everything. It's what eases the judgment of that it matters to have, that the environment matters that much, because she's lived in worse environments.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's when we showed her when she was initially having this problem, or we've shown her several times since, that she didn't always have running water. She had a well. She had to take dishes out to the well when she was a monk. It's this is running water. It's chlorinated. It's too, you have to walk 10 steps tops.
Mm-hmm.
So we're showing her that even her inconveniences are conveniences when you compare and contrast in the correct way. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that the landlord doesn't have responsibilities. That doesn't mean that these aren't inconveniences, but it means that you can frame them in different ways. And so we're just showing that with everything, there's always a worse. There's a worse period. There's a worse. Seeing them like a miscarriage. Seeing the worst period, right? Like seeing the miscarriage from my other lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things I always knew
Mm-hmm.
that happened, but I've never seen it. I've never had it. Those are
Just
something.
allow it to come up and just observe it.
Yeah,
Can you just
that was way worse. That was way worse than anything that I'm going through now.
mm-hmm. Is there something here that Julia needs to process with this? Is that why she's seeing this?
Yeah, it's the first time she's seen it like this. And she's seen the success. And she's seen this woman fail, this I'm a failure, I can't be a mother, I can't do anything.
Mm.
I can't do it. And she's seen the result of that thinking, and she's seen how easily that can be transformed into something different.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're showing her both of those options, and it's just her choice. It's her
It's
choice
beautiful.
which way. And that woman who miscarried, she lived out two different timelines. In one of them, she killed herself, and in the other, she became a very successful merchant. It's like she was in maybe Spain, something about, she was, yeah, she was able to, I believe, buy and sell things.
So feelings of failure is something that's been coming up for Julia. Is that something you could help her process through today?
Well, that past life, she's helping me because she's showing me, she's saying, see, look what you did for me.
Mm-hmm.
She says, look what you did for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
was a mess. She says, you're not as bad off as I was, are you? And I say, no. No, she lost her husband in war. She was pregnant. She was young. She lost her child. She had everything against her. And she came back. Because of me. Because of what I said. Because of my story. Because I encouraged her. I showed her there was a different option. And she took it. And so she's showing me. She's showing me a different option. And there's something to do with metal and coins. It's like I can feel the metal. I can feel the coins.
I think that's important to remember. There's always a different option. I think that'll be
Yeah.
really helpful for Julia too.
Something about jewelry and something about metal and jewelry and coins and another option.
One of the things that Julia and I discussed was pertaining to money and scarcity mindset, and gaining some financial stability and eventually financial security. What does Julia need to know about that, or how can she work towards those things?
We don't really see an issue with it.
Is there a certain type of job that Julia could focus on getting that would make her happy?
We feel like it's in the bag. We feel like she has this job. We feel like it's hers. She doesn't want to bank on that. She doesn't want to predict that because she's scared that it's not. But there's something in her bones that feels like.
And if for some reason this particular job that you're talking about does not come through, is there a certain type of job or a type of work that she should focus on?
She's always worked on the phones.
Does that still align with her?
Yes, there's something about phones. She doesn't like to talk to people on the phone in real life, and casually very much. But she's always done customer service and worked on phone.
Okay.
And there's something about it's just similar enough to being similar enough to the connection that she feels when she's operating in these realms.
Mm-hmm.
Something about transmits through the voice she's that is her skill.
Okay. Julia and I had discussed her having some feelings of imposter syndrome and trying to overcome imposter syndrome. Is there any advice or information you can give us pertaining to that?
Fake it till you make it. Everyone feels that way. It's not an individual, it's a collective feeling. It's
Mm,
just keep doing it. It's not, it doesn't matter if you, it doesn't matter, just keep doing it. She's just now starting to understand connection. It's not a problem. She didn't understand it before, and she's judging herself as if she's just not doing. She knows something and she's just not doing it. She didn't understand it. It's not laziness if you just don't understand. She just doesn't. It's like she's just now getting it. And it's like so many other people come into this work already understanding that part, and that's why they're in this work. But this is counterintuitive to her. This is not why she's in this work. She's in this work because she's curious, because she likes to fun and explore, not because she's compassion based. She has to learn the compassion part of it. It's not her intuitive nature.
mm,
That's fine. That doesn't mean she's evil or narcissistic or everybody has an ego. It's protective. It's what helps us navigate 3D worlds and time. We have to have that for that. And so she's judging herself in the spiritual community as less than because she works at it from the other side, from a more mechanical side, from a curiosity standpoint as opposed to a compassion based standpoint. And it's coming full circle. And so just give herself time. She's realizing it. She's not behind. She does drag her feet. She's not behind. That we know that sounds counter contradictory, but she's not a slow learner. She's just has a lot of willpower, and the willpower that she has is important for the nature of her role. She can't fulfill it without having that willpower. She's just learning how to direct it towards creating more and more value as opposed to the willpower blocking her, creating the boulder in the river, so to speak. So she's dissolving that. It doesn't even boulders are anything but permanent. Boulders are not permanent.
mm-hmm.
They're just as transient as everything else.
Thank you for that information.
It's just
What does Julia need to do to step into a role to help other practitioners?
there's this snarkiness and anger about it's just social media. It's like she has to get over the social media reaction,
Mm,
and it's difficult. Her ego is so keen to react. She's so keen to react. It's like she has to turn that into a more compassionate and open-minded reaction as opposed to just schooling people.
mm,
So it's just that same compassion. She wants to react with compassion as opposed to just judgment. It's 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 like the judgment is what gets her, you know, whatever dopamine hit or whatever. Like, I'm
yeah.
going to tell them, and then she maybe opens into more open-mindedness. But if she looked at people as friends, it would make more sense. And she can do that after she meets people, but we're extending that understanding that all these people are real people,
Hmm.
that we wouldn't act this way in real life, and that there's a lesson there. You know, it's it's something that it's like learning to work with toxicity. It's learning to transform the toxicity of social media into an empowering and into a lesson of compassion.
Hmm.
And it's not the most intuitive thing for her ego, which just wants to dissect things, and this it really is almost in that. Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
find all the flaws. We're going to do the QA. We're going to go through the list and check. Nope, 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 nope. And that's not. That's only part of that. That's only part of manifestation, and it's the smallest part. It's the bigger part is knowing what you want and focusing on that. And there is no manager. You know, this we're the manager. If if she'd put as much energy into being mad at the landlord, if she put as much energy into the oven as she has about being mad at the landlord, she could have just bought another oven.
Mm,
It's there's a anger that just has to be sidestepped. There's a what you really want. What do you really want? It's like, what does she really want? She doesn't really care that much about whether the water runs in this kitchen or not. What she really cares about is that Greg feels like he has a home. And he doesn't. He doesn't fit here. And it's important to him to have a better standard of living. And instead of adopting his dissatisfaction, we want her to focus on the potential of moving up, moving out, and getting on board with his line of thinking more and more because he's pretty practical and he's not, how do you say, he's his what he wants are not conflicted with her values or her abilities. Nor is she a failure because she's not working full time or paying half the bills, or nor is she a failure because they haven't found that yet. It's just it's a realization of the disparity between what they have and what they could have.
mm, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we're encouraging her to keep opening up to the potentials that she used to. She's been very trusting. She's moved across country without any, when she logically should not have. She should not have. You know, she had the resources and that's all. She didn't have any plan or any way to sustain herself or anything like that. She's very trusting, and it's always worked out for her. And she's somewhat more stable now in some ways than she's been. She has a partner that takes care of her, as opposed to her having to take care of her partner, which has been in all of her prior relationships.
Hmm.
And so in that way, she's more stable, but she judges herself worse because of it. And so we're just encouraging her that she can do more, and that that she can do whatever it takes, whatever it is that's going to need to happen. She's going to do it. It's not worse than it's been in the past. We're showing her that if she does want to compare and contrast, she can certainly compare to how bad it's been if that's a necessity. But really, she can just focus on the things that she wants.
Does Julia have an awareness on a daily basis of how she is spending her energy?
Yeah, it's pretty stagnant. I mean, like there are exceptions to that. It's like if she doesn't have something planned, if she doesn't have specifically, and we're talking about like it's like almost like she has to show up for someone else. If she doesn't have that planned for someone else, she'll just sit in a robe all day or play video games. Or it's like she doesn't have any self motivation.
Does she show up for herself? You said she shows up for others. Does she show up for herself?
I mean, only if it's something that only for big things. Like it's not a daily. It's something she has trouble showing up for herself on with the smaller things.
Would it serve her to show up for herself more often?
Yes, but it's intimidating. That's why we just tell her just do the one thing.
Hmm.
Just do the one thing. It turns into more.
So even if she does the one thing a day, she's showing up for herself in that small
Yeah,
regard.
yeah. If she just does the one
Perfect.
thing. Brush your teeth or chant or take the shower. Just the one thing that she knows she should quote unquote do. Whatever
Hmm.
that thing is. We don't even want to tell her it's chanting or it's brushing your teeth. It's just the one thing. And the feeling of avoidance. It's almost like holding, like if you have to go to the bathroom and you're just holding it for a long time. The sensation of avoidance. You might
Hmm.
not be conscious, oh yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. It might not even occur to you that you're holding it. But at some point, like, oh, you have the relief of letting it go. But as you show up for yourself, you start to feel you don't have the tension of holding on to. You can just let those things go. You do the thing you want to do instead of actively avoiding your happiness.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's kind of why I was asking if she was aware of how she's exerting her energy.
Yeah, she's pretty low energy. She doesn't, I mean, that's a positive thing in a lot of ways. We don't get on, it's just her metabolism is lower. We'll put it that way. She just doesn't,
Hmm.
and she doesn't want it. She doesn't care about doing things all the time. She just wants to stop avoiding shit.
Her and me both.
Yeah, it's not the doing that we want to encourage. It's stop not doing.
Hmm. Stop not doing. I
Yeah,
like that.
just stop avoiding everything. That's all.
Julia has had some seizures. Can you tell us about those? Why is that happening?
Yeah, it's similar to the showing up thing. At least just diet. It's literally she just doesn't have the right balance of minerals in her body. She needs more electrolytes. It's natural salt. She just needs to have living food every once in a while. Like drink some coconut water, eat some green beans, just like normal people would do. it's she doesn't have super specific needs. Like she didn't set it up that way. She's got really wide parameters on what she would need to do to be healthy, and it's easy compared to so many other people. She
Mm,
doesn't really have much. It's things like that are going to regulate her hormones, her thyroid. It's those things, and it's just natural. It's nothing that food won't help. It's nothing that plant-based food won't help. It's just to eat a carrot. It's nothing exotic. And she really resonates with when she heard yam. It's like there's something probably there that's uh, say an easy fix, a quick fix, but it's consistent. She has to do it every day. She has to show up for herself enough to remember to eat a plant.
mm-hmm.
That's all. If we don't, she can still eat the Twinkies. She just won't want to as much as she's nourished, as she shows up,
Mm-hmm.
as the counter is clean. She's more likely to prepare food, and she was in a real good place doing that for a while, and so she knows she can do it. She's seen herself doing it. It's just coming back after the last just really hit her hard losing the job. That's just been such a blow to the self-esteem. She understands it, so she's being pretty kind to herself, but it did just slam her real bad.
Yeah, I understand. Is she able to let go of that now?
And she's pretty much there. I think she'll be able to let go of it as she starts showing it, as she starts doing those things. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the answer isn't to stagnate more. It isn't just to live in the quote unquote failure. We get to recover. We get to boohoo. We get to complain. We get to do that for as long as we want. She's tired of it, so she's coming to the point where no, she wants to change. She wants to actually start doing that one thing. When she has the job, one thing turns into 15 things, turns into 100 things, and it
Yep.
doesn't, phase her as much. It's just part of the routine. And so that's why we're encouraging that.
Is there anything that she can do or maybe say to trigger herself to remember to show up for herself like that each day?
She's hearing her mom, and it's like it's not necessarily related to showing up, but letting go. And her mom, at a certain point, after the divorce, her mom just started saying, "It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter." There's something about that release, especially seeing her mom come to that realization that it doesn't matter. That, my dad can't make her do anything anymore. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how
Yeah.
much money. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. What matters is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And she is recognized that even though she's not doing the quote unquote work, she's not taking the exact steps that she thought she should. It's like she's not chanting every morning, but she's able to think the mantra. She's able to think the feeling of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, of understanding, of be here now, of Om. She's able to understand that feeling and just be in the moment and feel the connectedness of everything without having done the chant,
Mm-hmm.
without having done the one thing. Even in her lowest period, this is probably as bad as she's felt, having this. The last 2 months has been a really just knock. Even with that, she's still showing up. She still has the presence to go into those moments more so than other people do, even with their jobs and their with
Yes.
even more so than even people that she would judge as having everything together, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
she would judge as success. She's even more advanced than they are. And it's not intuitive. And it's not on paper. And it's nothing that you can prove or take. It's nothing that you can show off. It doesn't come through. You don't get a medal for it. Maybe you do eventually.
Mhm.
But it's not a given. It's nothing that you can show, put
What
on a
does
resume.
what does Julia's idea of success look like?
There is none. I don't have a. There's just this sense of ease. It's just a. It's just a melody. It's just a melody.
Hmm. Today, you showed Julia a couple of different things. And one of the things that we saw was a life where she was working underground with a couple of other beings. Why did you choose to show us that today?
This has to do with the fabric of the nature of reality and the things that bring her comfort. There's a certain smoothness and rigidity and the pattern of moving between the smoothness and the rigidity. It's like it brings her a certain comfort, and there's something about the energy, her form, the visceral experience of those tones, even the way she can feel her claws, the way that she can feel her fingernails as a human. It's something to do with just the way that catching, that she finds a certain pleasure in catching these energies. And it's an entertainment. It's a it goes beyond just one thing or another thing. It has to do with the texture of reality. What she finds compelling and entertaining, comforting.
What was the significance of the lifetime you showed us where she worked on the art with the marble, with the universe inside of it?
That's everything to do with her story. That's her culmination. That's her entire. And as far as she understands, that's her entire. That's what she's getting to. That's her end goal. That's where she's. I mean, the future is now, but it is a more advanced and more mature and more responsible. She has the ability to respond in that she's a hybrid. She has the best of both. She's has the ability to see and hear and feel. She comes into those things. She learns them. She's learning them now. All these experiences play into that lifetime and all those into this one. And it's her higher self. It's her art. It's the archetype that she's moving into. It's who she wants to be more and more, even in this lifetime. Because that person is adventurous, and they're brave, and they're compelled. They're compelled by curiosity.
And she can embody all of those things during this lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, and she's learning in the same kinds of things. She's learning the compassion and how to bring that into bigger and bigger realms, and how to spread that, how to inspire others through beauty as opposed to suffering.
Wonderful. Thank you for that information.
She doesn't suffer in that lifetime. She doesn't, she's born entitled. She's born well off. She doesn't have to go through misery to find happiness or find fulfillment. She's not react. She has hardship. She feels lonely. She cries. She loses people she loves, but she's not abused. She's not in any deficiencies. And even without having any deficiencies, she's still able to understand empathy and compassion and live in the higher realms without having suffered or been made to feel less than. She can ascend without reacting. And that's what Julia wants to do. She wants to create from desire as opposed to running away from something.
Thank you. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful for her.
Yes, it's almost like we're showing that instead of we think of we think of home as a shelter, and it is a shelter. It is, but it's not. Essentially, we don't build a home. We don't seek a home just because we're cold. Not because just, it's more than just running away from something that builds a home. It's the same way a beaver builds a dam or an otter builds a nest, a den. It's just part of our nature. Yes, it's protective, but it's part of our nature to build. And there's something it's like cutting her off from that desire, or something that she's been judging. She never wanted a house. She never wanted children. She never wanted domesticity. And
Hmm.
there's something that she's rejected from that and that she's embracing now.
Is there anything that we have forgotten to ask today that will be helpful for Julia to know?
She just needs to move more. It's like half of the problems that she is experiencing have to do with just being sedentary in a non-ergonomic way. There's people that have put in their lifetime studying ergonomics. She doesn't need to have, she doesn't need to develop, she doesn't need to lose her feet because she's sitting in the same place for 4 hours.
Hmm.
She can get up, she can move around. Like we believe we see this happening very shortly, whatever she does. So we don't want to push her too much, but it's just one of those things like it's so obvious that you're losing the circulation is your circulatory system is degenerating. So don't do that. So just move, like keep it, stay active, move your feet and your hands, and don't play on your phone. And, the things that she knows, but just a gentle remind her. We're going to um, create minor emergencies, right? something has to happen outside that she has to get up and go do it. Like these are the types of things. Be prepared for. If you're not going to do it yourself, we're going to set up outside limitations that force you to move. So do it, and we'll do the other thing. We're just remember, just when things start falling randomly around you, instead of saying, "God damn it," just remember that's us helping you.
Hmm.
You know. So just try to be more faithful, have more faith.
And is there anything else that Julia needs to know at this time?
We're just finishing up cutting cords, and it's making her feel a little nauseous.
After this session today, what would be your suggestion as far as Julia listening back to the session? How often or when?
She needs to remember what we were showing her in the very beginning. And that's that she's already enlightened. She's already on the other shore. It's just a perspective. She's all three of those men in the ceremony in the air. She's all three of the men, and she's also the woman. She's also the what we would call the Dragon King's daughter. She's also the embodiment of the soul that can learn through just through without suffering, that doesn't have to go through the trials and tribulations. And she knows this. She's had a whole session about it. We're going to remind her that she's all of those characters and more. But the feeling of that excitement, the excitement of the disciple that learned, he will experience Buddhahood, and the calmness of the Buddha that's already achieved. It's already done. It's done. And then the newness of the person that's just going through the realization that any of this exists. There's such a thing as wait, there's more than just this one world. It's all three of those all in one. And so it's not, she doesn't need to worry. She can go easily into one, easily into the other. It's not just about the suffering realms. There's all these realms. It's so multifaceted. Don't get stuck in just the one.
It's a beautiful message. Thank you so much. And is there anything else? Wonderful. Now I'm going to ask the subconscious to recede back where it belongs with much love and thanks for help that it has given and the information that it has been giving Julia today. And I know that she's really going to appreciate it. And I want the entity or entities from the other lives that we were speaking with today to also recede into the past to the time where they belong, with much love and thanks for the information that they have given us today. And remember, the things that you are watching from the past belong in the past, and we will leave them in the past. We only bring them forward as a curiosity to learn from, to have information to help apply to the present lifetime. In that way, they are valuable and have importance. But as Julia listens to the recording, goes over the material and puts it into place, it will not bother her in any way, mentally or physically. That is very important. It will not bother her in any way, mentally or physically. And now I want all the consciousness and personality of Julia to once again return fully, integrate back into the body completely. All the consciousness and personality of Julia is now once again fully integrated back into this body, replacing all of the other parts that we were speaking to. And when you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and just come back into the room. Just taking your time, coming back slowly, just returning to the room.
It's weird because like I could feel myself really REMing. And I
Mm,
was just like, I don't think I'm gonna come back yet. I was like thinking I'll just stay. And then as soon as I said come back to the body, the lights changed.
mm.
Like like someone turned a light bulb on.
Yeah, that's
Really
weird.
weird. Yeah, I haven't had that happen before. It was really weird.